Good morning. It is Tuesday morning and tomorrow night I'm hosting my first event for my new job. I started a new job as an event coordinator for a local community of young adults and young professionals, and I plan 2 high-end events a month to try to elevate their living experience. And so my first event is tomorrow night, and it is a Matcha 101 workshop. I'm partnering with a local matcha company from Charleston. It's called Holy City Matcha, and the founder and CEO of that brand is coming to teach a little Matcha 101 workshop for us. We're going to talk about the benefits of matcha, how to make the perfect cup of matcha, and also some flavor pairings to go with matcha. The event is tomorrow at 6 p.m. and I have lots of event prep to do, so I thought I would take you along for the next 24 hours of prep work. We have some DIYs I want to do and then some baking. I was hoping to find a few more matcha flavored treats than I was able to find in the store, so we're just gonna make some of our own. I have a few store-bought hack type of things we're gonna do to kind of elevate something that I found in the store, and then a few things I would love to try to make from scratch. I grabbed my laptop so that we can walk through everything that we have to do today. I have a whole event plan in Notion. I use Notion for everything. It just keeps me organized. Let's walk through everything that we have to bake today. We made chocolate chip cookies last night. Caleb helped me make the dough for those, and we have them all rolled. I just have to bake them. So we're gonna make a dozen cookies. And then I'm gonna try to make cardamom buns because that's my favorite treat to have at a cafe. That's kind of our lowest priority because those are the most labor intensive item on the list. So we're gonna see if we can get that done. If we don't get to that, that's okay. As far as matcha flavored treats go, I'm gonna make some madeleines, and we're gonna do some that are just vanilla flavored, vanilla bean, I think. And then we're also gonna make some that I coat with a white chocolate matcha coating. The recipe looks really easy, and I think we can pull it off pretty quickly. So I don't think that one will be too labor intensive. And then I also saw on Pinterest, I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's see if I can figure out how to pronounce this before I botch it. It's an Italian pastry. Let's see. Here's someone reading it off.
I have never met a cream bun I don't like, but I have to say I have a special fondness for maritozzi.
Maritozzi. I always say it like Maritozzi, but I think it's actually Maritozzi, in Italian. Forgive my pronunciation because that was terrible. But I saw on Pinterest that there are some people that will add a matcha cream to a brioche bun, and it is supposed to be a maritozzi. I went to Aldi and I found they had little mini brioche buns. We're gonna cut a wedge in these little brioche buns and fill them with a matcha flavored pastry cream. I may be in over my head on that, so we're gonna try that. And then I also need to make some syrups for the matcha. I wanna have lots of different flavor options when we talk through flavor pairings. So I'm gonna make a strawberry syrup, a honey syrup, a vanilla bean syrup, and then just a basic simple syrup. And those should be pretty easy as well. But I think that's our whole list. We have a lot to do, but a lot of it I think is gonna be pretty quick. So I'm not too nervous, and we have the entire day to get that done. And then as far as DIYs go, I want to make little food labels for the pastries. I'm gonna make a display that will hopefully look like it's at a matcha cafe or a coffee shop. So I want to label each of them and maybe even give each pastry a fun little name. My favorite cafe in Charleston is called Harbinger, and they have names for each of their pastries. So their chocolate chip cookie is called the Best Friend Cookie, and I want to try to come up with names like that just to be a little added touch to the evening. So we're gonna work on that later. I'm gonna make a little template in Canva, just print that off and cut them out, and I got little holders to put that in. And then I also got, let me grab a few things so that I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna do a whole haul here in a second of everything that I bought because I actually have so many things I want to share with you. But our entire living room right now is just filled with all of the event supplies because I don't have my keys to the event closet yet. So our living room is basically a matcha event storage closet. But I'll show you everything I bought because I found some fun things. And if you ever wanted to throw a matcha event, you might want to know what some of these items are. And maybe I'll create a whole page on my Shop My and also on Amazon so that you can find these things pretty easily. But one of my DIYs I want to do is I bought these little tin cans. They are loose leaf tea containers. I want to try to personalize them. A friend of mine has a Cricut and I want to try to borrow it to make a little label maybe for the top and maybe a sticker for the side. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to that, but either way, I thought these little tin canisters were a fun little touch because I'm gonna put the matcha for each guest in this little canister at their little station. And I think we're only making 2 matchas together in the class during the instruction time. So I should be able to fit enough matcha for like 3, maybe 4 or 5 matchas in here. I'm not quite sure how much I'll get in here. So they should be able to go home with a little tin can that has enough matcha to make maybe 1 or 2 matchas at home. And I thought that was kind of fun. So I'm gonna try to DIY that as well, and then make the food labels. And I think that's all of the DIYs that I have. I really wanted to make some like cocktail napkins that had the event name on them, but this event was pretty last minute after I started the job, so I wasn't able to get them in time, but that's okay. But let's go ahead and get started with baking, and then I'll show you a haul of everything that I bought. I'm gonna go ahead and do the haul before I forget, because I'm afraid if I jump into baking, I will totally forget to show you all of these things. But I do have a fairly large budget for these events, and so I know that if you were hosting this with just your friends or your family, you would not have the budget to afford all these things, which is kind of fun that I have a budget to work with. But I do feel like some of these items were good finds, and if you ended up hosting a party like this, you might want to use some of them. The theme for the night is nice to matcha, like nice to meetcha, and it's my first event, so I thought that would be kind of fun, a fun way to just have this casual like get to know you event. So we're playing off of the pun nice to matcha, and I thought that was kind of clever. But the evening is kind of like a matcha green themed, obviously, with little hints of pink, and there's kind of some hints of like a tannish yellow. So that's kind of the theme colors. The room layout for the night is going to be one really long table with stations scattered throughout. So I got these tablecloths. They are on the website. On Amazon, it said they were hunter green. I feel like that's not the best description of this color, because I feel like they're a little bit more of a bluish green. And hunter green to me is not this, but maybe that's an accurate description and I'm just wrong. But these are kind of like a bluish green. They're more blue in person than I think you can tell on the video, but they're a bluish green tablecloth that will go on all the tables. And I bought the tablecloths one size up so that they would hopefully touch the ground and not be too short. And at each station, I found these little bamboo trays that I'm gonna have sitting there just so that there's not matcha and milk and water being spilled everywhere. So we'll have one of these and a little matcha kit. And this is probably my favorite find that I found. I didn't know how I was gonna be able to have matcha kits for everybody, and I really wanted to find an option that they could actually take home with them. And I found this kit, and I feel like it was really inexpensive and seems like good quality. I'm not like a matcha professional, so it could be that this is just not high quality, but for an event like this, I thought it was perfect. It comes in this little box, and I will take it out of the box and have it set up at each station, but it comes with a matcha whisk, a little matcha whisk holder, and this is where the pink is gonna come in on the table. Little pink matcha whisk holder, and some measuring utensils, and then a sifter. So I feel like that is such a great kit. It was $9.99 for all 5 of these items, and to me that's really inexpensive. It doesn't come with the bowl, so I did have to purchase bowls separately, and matcha bowls can be kind of expensive, so I ended up getting just small bowls. They're not technically matcha whisking bowls, but for this event, again, I feel like it will work really well. I bought my bowls from Hobby Lobby. These were $1.99 each. I got some in this green color and then white, and I'm gonna do every other. And this bowl pretty much matches the tablecloths perfectly, which is what I was hoping for. I was a little worried it wouldn't come together, but they are just about the same color and going to be really perfect. So those are my bowls. They are technically too small. Again, these are not perfect matcha whisking bowls, but for this event, I just needed something that was inexpensive, but also kind of good quality so that each guest can take them home. And I ChatGPT'd it, and it said, even though they're too small, they should still work. They'll just have to do smaller whisking motions. So again, not perfect, but we're gonna roll with it, and I think it will work really well for the event, and it matches the color scheme perfectly. Those were $1.99. Got these at the dollar store. I think they were $1.50. There's 6 in each pack. I'm gonna have these so that they could try some different flavors. If they didn't want to make like a full cup of matcha, they can use these to sample different flavor profiles. And I think each station will get 3 of those. And in the center of the table, my main decor is gonna be these little lamps that I found. They were, I think, $25 each, maybe a little bit more, but I'm gonna have 3 of those on each table, and they're kind of fun. You just tap them to turn them on, and I think they last, it was like 10 hours, and you can like dim them by holding the button down. It took me a while to figure out how to do it. And then you can make them brighter, so kind of fun. I think that will add a nice little vibey touch to the table. And let's see, where do I want to go next? For all of the syrups that I'm making, I think I mentioned earlier, but I'm making a strawberry syrup, a honey syrup, a vanilla bean syrup, and a simple syrup. So I found these also at the dollar store. They're just like condiment bottles. So I'm gonna make, I think I'll have 2 sets of each of the syrups in these. These were also $1.50, so pretty inexpensive. On the food table, we're gonna have, I also got some more plates. They're like mini plates that kind of look like these trays. And I'm gonna have little pastry bags so that at the end of the event, I'm sure we're gonna have leftover pastries. So each guest can kind of take a pastry to go for their matcha they make the next morning. And these I found on Amazon. I also found some little cocktail napkins. These are not the color they were advertised as. They were supposed to be a much lighter green, and they came in very dark, like army green, which is okay, but not what I was going for. It's just too late to order something else, so we're gonna roll with it, but these were not the best find in my opinion. We also were in need of kettles for the event. The instructor has 1 kettle that he's bringing, but I felt like we needed more for the number of people that will be at this event. So I ordered 2 kettles that are cordless that we're gonna use for the event, and these were one of the more expensive items. I do think these were fairly inexpensive for a kettle though. I think they were maybe $30, $35, which to me is not bad, but I did order 2 of these. For the matcha for the event, I was talking with the instructor and he has his own brand of matcha. It's called Holy City Matcha. He's gonna bring some of it, but apparently right now there is a matcha shortage because matcha has just grown in popularity so much. And so he was afraid he wouldn't have enough matcha to bring for every guest to have as many cups of matcha that we were gonna be making throughout the night. So he recommended this brand. It's a ceremonial grade matcha, and it's organic. So this was a good find that he recommended. And then I think that's all for like decor. Let's jump over to food. I wanted to have lots of matcha flavored treats and then also some non-matcha flavored treats just because 1, there's caffeine in matcha. And if we're drinking a ton of matcha or eating matcha at 6 p.m., I was afraid people wouldn't sleep. So I want to have some non-matcha flavored treats, but I also wanted to weave in some matcha flavored candies and pastries and snacks. I found some good things at the store, but again, I didn't find everything I was looking for, so we are gonna be baking some of our own. But let me show you what I found at the store. World Market was the first place that I looked because I figured they would have a lot, and they did have a lot. They had so many other treats I could have picked up. They were just pricier, and I wanted to be mindful of my budget and steward that budget well. So I only picked up 1 thing I bought 2 of these bags, but I only picked up 1 thing at World Market. They're matcha green tea bite-sized cream-filled wafer cookies, and these just looked really good. I'm gonna have a little bowl of these on the dessert table. And then next I went to a local Asian supermarket. It is located in North Charleston. It's called H&L Supermarket, and I found some good things there. So I got these green tea flavored chocolate pies. I thought these were kind of fun. They're green tea, which I feel like that's close enough. Pocky? I feel like I'm saying that wrong. But I also got 2 of these. I got just like a normal chocolate flavor and a matcha cream flavor. I also bought some of these matcha milk candies. And I tried one of these when I got to the car because I was just really intrigued. And this might be one of my new favorite candies. I'm gonna have to go back to buy some for myself just to have around the house because they are so tasty. Really love these, and I'm glad that I found these. I think I might, instead of putting these on like the dessert table, I think I'll just put some small bowls in on the main table where we are making our matcha together, just to have like a little thing you can grab quickly during the instruction time. And lastly, I went to Trader Joe's to get a few treats that were non-matcha flavored. Biscotti, I got 2 flavors. This one is chocolate hazelnut, and this one is salted caramel. And I thought these pair really well with tea, so I thought that was a good little treat to have on the table. And it's kind of something you would see at a coffee shop or like a matcha cafe, I feel like, maybe. And then lastly, I got these apricot shortbread cookies. Apricot with matcha just sounds like it would taste really good. So we got these, and I will put some pictures on the screen of kind of how I'm gonna set up the food table. I wanted to feel like you were at a cafe or at a coffee shop, and so that's the goal. We'll see how I can pull it off. I have lots of different trays that are of different heights, and I'm just gonna kind of layer things on the table, and I will show you how things come together, but I'm hoping that it will look like this. Let's get to baking. I have lots of baking to do. This is my favorite little corner in our kitchen. I don't know why. It just feels so like aesthetically pleasing to me. And I love when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, I love looking over and seeing all of the oil bottles. That's so silly, but I love this little corner in our kitchen. I will leave links to all the recipes I'm using today in the caption of this video, but this is the cardamom bun recipe that I'm going to follow. I've made these 4 or 5 times before, and they're pretty straightforward. I would definitely use this recipe if you're going to try to make cardamom buns. There's lots of great illustrations kind of woven throughout the blog post, and it makes it really easy to nail them every time. And then for madeleines, I'm going to follow this recipe, which I have also made many times. It's from Williams-Sonoma. And this time I'm just gonna leave the lemon out and make like a basic vanilla flavored madeleine and then cover half of them in a white chocolate matcha glaze. But this recipe is also very straightforward and I love it. I always forget to take the eggs out of the fridge ahead of time because I think generally speaking, you're supposed to only bake with room temperature eggs. But I saw this trick a while ago where you can put your eggs in some hot water and it'll bring the temperature of the eggs down. You're just supposed to make sure that the hot water isn't too hot because otherwise you will end up with boiled eggs. I'm going to have to make another batch of madeleines because I keep eating them and they're dwindling quickly. Ignore the messy kitchen behind me. We have lots going on back here, but the madeleines are just about done. I have a second batch in the oven and they should be done in 2 to 3 minutes. I think I'm gonna wait to do the brioche buns until tomorrow just because I want the whipped cream to be as fresh as possible. I should have plenty of time in the morning to get those done because the event's not till 6, so that should be a-okay. Now I think I'm gonna work on the syrups because that's a higher priority than the cardamom buns, and I should have time tonight to do the cardamom buns if I don't get it done before my meeting. I have a meeting at 3:15, so I just have to get as much done as I can before that call. I have enough of these bottles to do 2 of every syrup flavor. So we're gonna do strawberry, and I'm actually tripling this recipe even though I'm still only doing 2 of these bottles. I'm gonna do a honey syrup, and this one is just equal parts honey to equal parts water, vanilla, and just a normal simple syrup. And that's also just equal parts sugar to water. But let's get these done and then we'll see if we have time for cardamom buns. These little brioche buns turned out exactly like I wanted them to. I used these brioche rolls from Aldi. I think a whole pack was like, I don't know, $3. And I just made some fresh whipped cream, vanilla bean whipped cream, and then matcha whipped cream and filled them. I cut out a little wedge in the bun and then filled it with whipped cream and dusted with powdered sugar. And I think they look perfect. I'm really excited about them. I thought I would show you my outfit because I really like how it came together. I'm wearing this dress from Damson Matter. It's a drop waist dress and I never have enough excuses to wear it. So I thought tonight was the perfect event to wear it. I have this little bandana on. It was a white bandana that I dyed using tea. I really wanted a cream bandana and I couldn't find one in any stores. So I just decided to DIY it and dyed it with some tea bags and it turned out exactly like I wanted it to. And then I have this necklace from Cezanne. My watch is from Amazon. I have my everyday rings and earrings on. And I thrifted these Adidas shoes a while back and I washed them, so I took the laces out. That's why they are unlaced. I need to put the laces back in, but these are the shoes I'm gonna wear tonight. But that's the outfit. I really like it. Before I head out the door, I need to fill all of these little tin canisters with the matcha that's gonna be at each station. So I'm just gonna put, I think, 4 to 5 scoops in each little container, and then I think we're ready to go. I am so excited. I could barely sleep last night because I was so excited. So it's about time.